Following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers. This is the TFN coming to you with what will hopefully be a successful review. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the Transformers Legacy Evolution Core Class figures that, while it's not the most exciting because it's a straight up repaint of a Core Class figure that was actually originally released in the Transformers Kingdom line, if you're a fan of the Decepticon Seeker Jets, then this one is a must-have Transformers figure, and it is Transformers Legacy Evolution Core Class Thundercracker. So yes, with Thundercracker, we now have Core Class sized figures of all three of the original Decepticon Seeker Jets. We got Starscream in the Transformers Kingdom line back in 2021, and then we got Skywarp in the Legacy Year 1 line last year in 2022. So with Thundercracker's release, we now have Core Class figures of all three of the original Decepticon Seeker Jets. Transformers fans and collectors who've been buying up the Core Class figures have been waiting with anticipation for Thundercracker. I'm one of those collectors who's excitedly been waiting for Thundercracker. He's one of the Core Class figures that was at the top of my list. So here's Thundercracker inside of his box. It's a very nice shade of blue plastic that's used on Core Class Thundercracker. You've got the Legacy Evolution logo here, moving my fingers out of the way. Up here on the top of the box, you've got some very nice artwork of Thundercracker in his jet mode. Noting one nice thing is that it is the jet mode of the actual Core Class figure. Some of the artwork on some of the Core Class Transformers figures that hasn't really matched up with the actual figures themselves. It's been other types of artwork, but not Thundercracker. He's got his the artwork that he has there. And here's his robot mode here. Here's some nice artwork of that. Coming on the other side of the box, you've got the right-hand side of the poster image for the Legacy Evolution line. Got a whole bunch of Transformers characters on there. You've got Armada Hotshot, you've got Laser Prime, you've got the Nemesis starship chasing after a Quintesson ship. Let's see what other Transformers figures are on this side of the image. You've got you got a Crash Bar, one of the Unkion weaponizers, and then of course you've got the Insecticons. You got all three of them. You got Shrapnel, Kickback, and Bombshell. Bombshell with the horde of clones following behind them. So I got Shrapnel today, a courtesy of eBay, and I got Kickback when he was released at the East last year in the Legacy Year 1 line. So hopefully Bombshell will follow soon and complete the Insecticon trio the way we've now completed the Core Class Seeker trio with Thundercracker's release. Going on here to the back of the box, you've got your product images. You got Thundercracker in his robot mode and in his jet mode, and he transforms back and forth between both modes in 17 steps. And that's pretty much it for Core Class Thundercracker. If you already have Core Class Starscream and Core Class Skywarp, then with Thundercracker, basically what you see is what you get. The only difference is that he's done in blue plastic, whereas Starscream was done in white plastic and Skywarp was done in black plastic. So without further delay, let's get Thundercracker out of his box and complete our trio of Core Class Decepticon Seekers. Sorry about that. Alright, so here he is. Here is Core Class Thundercracker out of the box. In his robot mode. And he's pretty impressive looking. I really enjoy how this paint job matches up with his animation model from the G1 cartoon. Very nice downside. Nice Core Class size version of Thundercracker. And yes, just like Kingdom Starscream, Thundercracker comes with his null rays. They are done in the same shade of blue plastic that most of Thundercracker is made of. And looking at the figure, I believe even true on his. I think it's even true on his head sculpt. Yeah, all the parts on Thundercracker that are black, it's black paint. Black paint on the hands, black paint on the lower arms, black paint on his robot mode feet. I believe it's it's even black paint on the tail fins of the jet mode and his robot mode head. That's all black paint. So none of Thundercracker's black parts are done in black plastic. So I think it's a shame that they didn't at least do the robot mode head sculpt and the tail fins of the jet mode in black plastic and they did paint instead. The fear with paint like that is that over time it'll eventually chip off and reveal the color plastics underneath it. There's no doubt in my mind that it's blue plastic that's underneath all the parts that are done in black paint. Out of the box, unfortunately this arm is a little loose in the shoulder joint than I'd like it to be. I don't know if that's mold degradation or or if it's just loosed on my copy of Core Class Thundercracker. Thundercracker is one of the Core Class figures from Wave 2 of the Legacy Evolution line. If you count Evolution as just being a continuation of the Legacy Year 1 line, then Thundercracker is one of, I believe it's three Core Class figures released in Wave 5 of the Legacy line, which is Wave 2 of Evolution. The other Core Class figures Thundercracker has been released with include Core Class Nemesis Prime, Core Class Grimlock, and a repackage of Core Class Iguanus from the Legacy Year 1 line last year. So for those of you who missed out on Iguanus the first time, I regretted it, and you wish you had gotten that figure. You can now get it if you see Thundercracker or at a store near you. Most of the Legacy Year 2 figures have appeared in a handful of Target stores across the United States, but not at every Target. So slowly, the Legacy Evolution Wave 2 Transformers figures are slowly starting to get released at retail outlets, but it's very slow going, and as far as I can tell, there's been no sightings of any of the Legacy Evolution Wave 2 Transformers figures at Walmart stores. So if there isn't a Target store nearby where you live, then your best option might be to go the route that I did, which is get these Transformers figures off of eBay. Amazon has a lot of the Legacy actually, I believe Amazon still has all of the Legacy Evolution Wave 2 figures street dated for release either during May or June of this year. Considering the fact that the month of March is 2/3 of the way through, and the month of April will be here soon. For those of you who get your Transformers action figures off of Amazon on the release date is much closer than it was when it was first announced. So hopefully the next 2 months will go by and a wider release of these figures will become available. But I babbled on about distribution of the Transformers figures when this video is supposed to be a Thundercracker. I apologize for that. So, just like Core Class Starscream and also Skywarp, same amount of articulation. The head is on a swivel joint, but fresh out of the package, it's very stiff, and so I'm not going to try and force it on camera. The arms are on a ball joint, so they have the potential to spin forwards and backwards 360 degrees, but the arms are hindered by the jet mode wings. You got ball joints in the elbows, so the lower arms can spin 360 degrees. You can also move the arms up and down at the elbow. No waist joint due to the transformation. You got universal jointed hips, so legs can go forward that far. They can only go back this far due to the armor that makes up the back of the torso being in the way. But the legs, if you can get the arms with the null rays out of the way, the legs can go out this far, so you can have this figure do a full splits if you can move the arms out of the way. No swivel joints in the thighs, but you do have hinge joints in the knee. And I believe you do not have ankle rockers because the feet are sculpted as part of the lower leg. It's not separate pieces. But overall, it's a pretty decent amount of articulation for a Core Class Transformers figure. Alright, and of course, here's the image you guys have been wanting to see. So here is Thundercracker standing beside his fellow Core Class Seekers. We got Kingdom Starscream and Legacy Year 1 Skywarp. And yes, I did go out and I bought a third-party upgrade kit with and I got Skywarp his null rays. I covered that in my review of Skywarp last year. So yes, it took 3 individual years, 2021, 2022, and 2023, to have all 3 of the original Decepticon Seeker jets done in Core Class size figures, but the wait was worth it to finally see these guys standing beside each other. So there's Starscream taking his place from Thundercracker as leader of these guys. Nice. And yes, overall, I enjoy looking at them all. Unfortunately for me, I don't have the legs straightened out right away, so that's why they're all slouched over. If you try and stand these guys on a solid surface like the tray table I'm using for the review, you do have to make sure that the legs are positioned right, because the knee joints can be a little finicky if you can't get them displayed right. But yeah, I'm really enjoying how they all came out. I believe they do all have the same head sculpt. So again, as I said, the main reason to get Thundercracker is for this right here to complete the trio of Core Class Decepticon Seeker Jets. But even as a standalone figure, if you're a fan of Thundercracker and you like Core Class size Transformers figures, then this figure isn't by no means a letdown. It's really fantastic looking. I believe Thundercracker, there's no paint splotches or any messes with him at all. All the jet at cockpit of the robot mode is nice bright yellow, and his shoulder vents are done in a nice metallic silver. And these guys keep wanting to knock over because, again, it's hard for them to actually want to stand up when they're standing on a flat surface. So before these guys fall over again, let's get them transformed into their jet mode, and we'll wrap up the review of Thundercracker here. Alright, so here are Thundercracker along with Starscream and Skywarp transformed into their jet modes. Skywarp is the one who's the most odd-looking due to his official weapon of the tuning fork of torture sitting underneath the nose cone of his jet mode. But overall, I do enjoy how they all came out. So, again, with Core Class Thundercracker here, if you already have Starscream and Skywarp, you're just getting the same figure a third time done in blue plastic as well. And I said the same thing in my review of Skywarp. Pretty much the only major gripe I have with Thundercracker is that the Decepticon logos on his wings, they don't have any outline to them. It works on Starscream since the Decepticon logos are on white plastic, but it doesn't work for Thundercracker and Skywarp due to them being purple Decepticon logos on black and blue plastic. They almost fade into them, and you can't really see them at a distance, so it looks like Starscream's the only one who has Decepticon logos, and now that I'm looking at them, Starscream's Decepticon logos are actually larger than Thundercracker and Skywarp. I don't know how well I can show that off here on my camera, but yeah. I'll use Thundercracker since he's the figure focusing on this review, but yeah, if you can shine a bright enough light on it, like my camera's picking it up right there, the Decepticon logos on Starscream are bigger. I guess that's to show that he's the commander and leader of the Decepticon Seeker Jets. But yes, I do enjoy how these three of them look standing beside each other. No landing gear on Thundercracker. As far as I can tell, there's no retool parts on this figure at all, so just like the original Generation 1 action figures of them, Thundercracker is straight up repaint of both Starscream and Skywarp. I had Skywarp's wings drooping there for a moment. Depending on how you peg the arm, how tightly the arms are pegged in place, the wings can droop down, but they are supposed to stick straight out and sit parallel with the ground. But yeah, there's all three of them together. So for the proverbial question, do I recommend getting Transformers Legacy Core Class Thundercracker and adding him to your Transformers collection? Absolutely, I do. You cannot go wrong having this big in your collection. And again, this is the main motivation to get Thundercracker, is to complete the trio of original Decepticon Seeker Jets. I think it's a shame that Skywarp doesn't actually come with his null rays, and you have to buy a third-party upgrade kit if you want him to have his null rays, just like Starscream and Thundercracker. You could, if you wanted, buy a duplicate copy of either one of Starscream and Thundercracker and get Skywarp some null rays if you can't get a hold of any of the upgrade kits that are out there. But even as a standalone figure, I do recommend getting Thundercracker because he is, as a standalone figure, a pretty decent looking Core Class Transformer. And so with Thundercracker's release, this is my latest trio of Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp that I've added to my Transformers collection. I believe this is either the 11th or 12th trio of these Transformers characters that I've added to my collection. Actually, several years ago on my channel, I did a collection video showing off all of my trios of Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp, the original Decepticon Seeker Jet. I think it's pretty great that these guys are here. These technically aren't the first time that we've had action figures of these three at this size. We got Legends class figures of them in the both the Thrilling 30 and the Combiner Wars line back in 2014 and 2015. But these are the ones that are the most geo and accurate looking figures of these three in this size. Alright, so thank you guys also so much for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers for your continued support. This has been my review of Transformers Legacy Evolution Core Class Thundercracker. I highly recommend you get this figure, especially if you have Starscream and Skywarp. If you passed on Starscream and Skywarp because Thundercracker didn't exist yet, I highly recommend you track them down and find them, because you cannot go wrong having Core Class sized figures of the original Decepticon on Seeker Trio. So thank you guys all so much, and until next time, you guys, stay safe, stay healthy, transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.